Hola, brochachos and brochachettes. I'm here with Quentin, 99slowbruhh's.
What's up?
And we are working on his new Edge. It's got a... Quentin, what all you got here, man?
Dude, this is a year's worth of amassing of parts. So yeah, we got QA1 front and rear sway bars. We got Maximum Motorsports caster camber plates. We got some restoration parts like for boots and whatnot. We got some bushings. We got stiflers. These are the seat rail extenders for us tall boys in the new Edge. And
I don't know if you can tell, this guy's like way up here.
yeah, we got the seat rail extenders. Those move your seat back and able to lean back further, so more comfy. Take a nap in that thing. Maximum Motorsports adjustable rear control arms, lower control arms, as well as Maximum Motorsports springs for the rear. Stiffen it up and make this more fun on the track.
Yeah.
That's the gist of it. Thank you, CJ Pony Parts. Big time shout out to them for the help on all the parts. And gosh, thank you to Rome for flying out from NC to work on this old car.
Oh, not an old car, man. Like, dude, this is within our age. Like, come on, we're not old people. So your plan for like how you want to drive this car is to be a lot of like, you know, like you want to be able to take it, drive it daily, and also still have a competitive, fun edge whenever you do go take it to the track, right?
Yep, want to be able to take it to road course and have a lot of fun. It's already a lot of fun, but it's a mix between drag car setup from the previous owner and my slow build of cornering setup, and this is going to really dial it in. All the mods I have on the car now, like I said, it's a mix between previous drag setups. So we got softer springs in it right now. So obviously got the stiffer rears going in. Don't have currently sway bars in the car at all, so that's going to be a big improvement.
That's wild not to have sway bars in it and to be driving around like that. You know, Europe, a lot of people do that in drifting scene, but you're not drifting this car, so I wouldn't recommend on that. But no, so there's a lot more adjustability out of this thing. So we're gonna shoot for what we think is gonna be a good fine middle. You know, drive it around, see what you think, and I'm excited. I like the amount of different adjustability you got here. So we're gonna have some fun today.
You're gonna get to play with a lot of suspension setup stuff. Your favorite
suspension. I love suspension. First things first, for what we're gonna get started on, we're gonna get the car jacked up, assess what all we are gonna need to be taking apart, and to put the camber caster plates on. It shouldn't be that hard. He's got coilovers, so we can just remove the coilovers. We got to drill a new hole for the top hats, and then that should allow us to be able to reassemble. Have plenty of room to do all the drilling that is needed. And I think I want to look up what stats we got on Maximum Motorsports. I think what I'm trying to achieve out of his car is about a 7.5 degree caster rate, just for the return and the pitch in for the car. Should be pretty good with 7.5, given what the KPI is on these cars, which is roughly around the 12 degree mark. So I feel like that would give us really close to on the money for what we're going to want for the steering to feel like. And then everything else from that is going to be more stability control. All right, we got the old sway bar out. New one that's about to go back in. Just wanted to have them sitting side by side so that way you can see the difference and how much beefier this one is. So, and since you don't have the adjustability, but you do want to go stiffer, buy the bar, buy the QA1. It's a much stiffer bar. Put that in, and that should give us a lot better stabilization for this car. Hey, Quentin.
What's up?
Any good idea on like how I can mark for this hole? I normally try to draw out a line, but we gotta shape out this to get the hole for it.
You're trying to get the plates to line up.
Yeah, check out these bolt holes right here.
Hey, I think toothpaste. You got some toothpaste?
Put a dab on it?
Yeah, put a little dab on it and then press it down. And then you'd know where it was.
Dude, that's a good idea. Because then it cleans it. It's going to smell good. Oh,
smells like cinnamon.
Cinnamon. All right, yeah, we'll do that, dude. Yeah,
cool.
Get some of that going. So for this top hat right here, you're supposed to use the plates that are normally already here. But he already had some caster plates. We had no way to actually center it up. And I was looking for like a good, simple way to put that down, I tried circling it, as you can see, with a marker to get an idea of where we're drilling the hole. But he said the toothpaste, that was actually very clever. All right, I went ahead and got one side completed just so I can get like an overall idea of what we're gonna try to shoot for. Setting it up, I went as far back as we can go, even though it looks like the slots say otherwise, but once you start tipping it more forward, it starts sliding that camber plate. So that's gonna take a lot of camber out of it. What we're trying to shoot for is as much camber and as much caster gain as we can get, because the stock limit, I think when I did mine, the most I can get up to for camber wise with what the strut tower will allow you to was maybe 3 degrees, and I kind of want to shoot him at about 2.8. And then caster as far back to ramp up as much caster as we can get out of this thing, because stock, I'm pretty sure stock these are like 5 to 6 degrees. But what we're going to try to achieve is that 7.5, like we talked about earlier. So as far back as we can get it, just to see what our caster sweep's going to be, we're going to be good. But this side, taking it out, you have to get that big nut off of the top of this thing. It's not like how on my VCs, they had it where it's now a top hat and you just slide it in and bolt it down. This is different. So you take the nut off the top of here, slide this off, take your 2 bolts out of here, and the coilover comes completely out. Then the next step will be prepping this. You take the next top hat out, which is this guy right here. Slide this out. These were 9/16. Pretty sure even on the stock car they're 9/16, so that might help you guys. And then the next kit is also going to be 9/16, except for now we're moving to 4 bolts. So we're going to clean up this area, mark where the new hole is going to go, and then we'll be golden. Now these plates are visual, so these dashes here and this dash here, this one needs to be facing forward, this one needs to be facing to the fender. So that way it'll go in here like that. That way you know how to align it. They give you a paper that shows you it this way. So this is the way to go. We're going to do it like yesterday with the toothpaste. Sit it here. This toothpaste actually worked out really well. Sit it where all the holes are lined up in, and then just dab that like that. Well, then that should give us our mark for the toothpaste. All right, so for a stock coilover or a stock strut for this kit, you have these 2 spacers that go in here. Well, for this car, it has this little blue washer here that is for the cup, for the top hat, for the coilover. That measures out to be just about the same thickness as one of these Big Johns right here. So we just eliminated the same thickness as one of these. I have about 2 of these big ones. Well, the blue is about as thick as one of these plus one of these, just slightly under. So to get close to what was in there before with this shoulder here, I just looked at these, did the difference, and then I used just one of the big guys on the bottom, one of the small ones on the bottom. That way you still got the pivot at the top, because that's what you want this clearance for, is to where it can pivot off that ball bearing in there. So if you are someone doing this with coilovers and you got the same little hump, just put you one of these washers in there, use this as your lockdown, because you're supposed to have 2 of the small ones, which, as we know, 2 of them equal the same as 1. So now that we have extras of these, I felt that it just looks better to rock those on top. So we're rocking 1 on top. We got the 1 on the bottom. That gives us our 2. So this thing is ready to be bolted back together. By the way, for drilling your hole, it's labeled in metric. So for any of you standard users, 27/64, that was right on the money for what you wanted to use. That is about the same hole size as what the stock ones are. So I figured, well, why not? If it works for the stock holes, let's make that our new hole. Doing the toothpaste method, as long as your drill bit doesn't walk and gets you pretty dead center, so then you can assemble it. And just look at that piece right here. And just a little life lesson for a lot of you guys that if you guys are watching just for viewing pleasure, and you ever have to go install coilovers or struts, or mostly for coilovers, after you bolt everything up, and if you have everything bolted up down here and you try to tighten these up, just want you to know to double check once it's sitting back on the ground, because sometimes what you're feeling is tight is really you pulling the tension from all the suspension. So you're compressing springs, or which with a coilover, you're not really compressing springs, but you're pulling all the weight of the lower arm, everything pulling it up. So you're feeling that that's what's tight. Once it sits down, everything else is going to end up having a chance to re-loosen and settle, because then it's got all the tension up. Then go back through and check it. But this is mounted down to the tower opposite from shock. So the only thing we should have to check is this guy, but we should be good. And just like that, we are done with the front end. So now it's time to jack up the rear, get it up in the air, put the jack stands, and start looking at what it takes to get that lower arm out, so that way we can do the adjustable lower arms, how we're gonna hook that sway bar up, and putting in the springs. Okay, so for pressing these bushings into the arms, take the rod out from your packages here, slide them out, and they give you some Prothane super grease. Because originally you need a packet anyways, you get the pack here. This should pack it good enough to where you don't need to do that. But in the future, you know, always grease your bushings. So you'll take each one of these, rip off your tab here, or just cut it. Cutting it's easier. Get the lid coming out. Give just a very thin layer of it. Take your finger. I always wear a glove for this part. I normally don't wear gloves for anything, but I do for this. Yeah, just smear it around until you got a good coating on it. And then take your arm. You're gonna set this in here. It should just slide through pretty well. Same thing for the other two. Leave them both compact together, because if you don't, it's not going to want to go through. The same thing, give it the light coating, flip it over, slide it through, and then once you're done, put that metal rod in there. That metal rod's going to try to extend that rubber piece, and then when it expands, that poly stretches out, keeps the grease packed in here very well, and the assembly should be pretty quick. Okay, we got one lower arm out. It's pretty self-explanatory on how to take this one out. For this car, it was a 22 on one end, 22 on the other end, or a 7/8, whichever one you have on you. Drop the bolt out. It should stay pretty stationary. Just don't really play with this too much, because you don't want it to twist or bind, because then throwing the next arm in is going to make it a lot harder. But now we got to measure where this cup is in relative to that one, because we're going to try to be shooting for about the same exact ride height with this car. And yeah, that should be it. Okay, so we got this all together. So with this being able to have the ability to adjust, you can put a ratchet in here and adjust your height with it on the ground. Is it going to be hard? Probably. You're fighting a lot of spring tension and weight. But however, it has that ability, and I find that to be really sick. What also makes that really cool is that also gives you the ability to run it all the way down, popping the spring in, super easy. That was a good call at maximum. You should have to put in as little input as possible with this.
Right.
I feel like that's how that would work.
Just hopping a little bit.
Dude, I don't know. That was mobbing though. It felt like that was pretty fast.
I don't know how fast we were going, maybe 25 or something, but we'll try it again.
I was glued to the door.
I felt it like wanting to step sideways.
I could, yeah. It was like right there on the brink of it, but
it was like hopping to the right.
Yeah, you could feel it like using the tire for all of that.
Yeah, and you heard it. You heard the tire a little bit too.
Yeah, and I felt like the hops were those cuts in the concrete right there. Whoa!
That was.
Good thing we didn't hit the back of it. Over there.
That was good. Who's over here? Hello. Hello, I'm turning. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, you can even smell the scrubbage.
I wish I would have taken you on a ride before. It feels like it's more floaty in the rear.
More floaty?
Yeah, like it feels less planted.
Than before? Oh, because before you're used to the squat body rolling into it.
And you just plant like that, you know?
Kind of dirt truck.
Yeah,
dirt track kind of style, like pitch it off and
that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm used to. So
you know what we should have done? Had it before, timed you going around it. And then done the next one, timed you going around it. That would have been the real way to know the difference.
That's true.
Damn.
It definitely feels. Yeah, I wonder. Do you have any ideas on what would be good to change up potentially to make it? I don't know. It just feels. Now I feel like it's so stiff that it's just like a 2x4 trying to
turn on.
I mean?
Yeah. So cutting it real quick, but what we were talking about more of is like what he's feeling and like what changes could we make that would make this feel a lot better. And more of what he's feeling and focusing on is like going into a corner. The whole idea of going for like a stiffer setup is that you're switching to using more of the tire instead of relying on the chassis laying over onto the tire. Because whenever you go from like what we were just talking about is going from like one corner to the next corner, the chassis doesn't have as much that it needs to rotate over, so it can pitch from one corner, dip it to the next one, and then all the grip remains back to the tire way faster than waiting on all the weight transfer to go to the other side. Now you're only losing like second maybe in the weight transfer, but in that sense every second's counting. So like for an overall better drive, you got to think about every variable. How is it like, I don't know, because we felt it yesterday, today's a lot better, like straight line. Prior, was it more smoother of a ride, or are you really feeling the stiffer spring?
Are you talking like just everyday cruising, or
Everyday
like
cruising, yeah.
Ride quality is at least maybe better than before you did any work. The other day it was definitely like rough, but also
Yeah,
the front,
it was pretty bad.
it was pretty rough. It felt like a Honda.
Yeah. It was way too low in the front. After the spring settled, we looked at it, we were like, oh yeah,
It was sitting on tire.
We need some adjustment back to it.
Yep. So yeah, I mean it rides. I think it rides slightly better than it did before we put any of the stuff on. So that's a win. I think the car being stiffer now is helping, and then the progressive rate springs in the rear probably help for
progressive
comfort.
springs are really good because then you get your drive time. It's supposed to be using that softer side of the spring.
And then when you're actually working the car, the tougher part of the spring is working.
Yeah, and this one was a 325 going to 440. I remember going to 440.
That's right. That's the progressive rate. Yeah.
Yeah.
325 to 440.
Yeah.
In the rear.
Which is pretty ideal. It's nice to be able to get to use both versions of that. A lot of times in drifting, what we would hold it at is a 300-pound spring. So it's cool that like it can progressively get
That was
stiffer.
a decent bump we just hit right there.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a tough
Here's a good one.
section.
Here's a good one.
Okay.
I don't know. The other bump felt worse.
I think this definitely rides better than before we put any of the mods we just did.
By the way, the road we are on,
Not good.
It is shot.
It is very
So
bad.
we're testing out every variable we
Yeah.
can right now. We just hit the roundabouts, we're hitting all the bumps. We're trying to see how it feels. Overall, possibly better. You know, it still needs a dialed in alignment. Hey, no scrubbing. So technically, before you had a progressive spring in the front, it was 0, and then and then whatever the spring rate is here in the front. Yeah. Oh, you know what would also be another thing that might help is, well, we need to figure out what the spring rate is in the front. If we go to something a little stiffer, that would then pitch the weight back too, and that would also kind of give you back your feeling of the cornering. Because I feel like we got more adjustability for chassis movability, and for the little bits that we want to move it. Because if we're still nose diving even a little bit, that's part of a problem, because we want all the weight going to the back, but also not too much to where it's going to suck to drive, you know?
True, yeah. I mean, it's not a track car, so.
No, I'm not trying to be like, yo, you got to get the 12Ks, 6K rear spring, which, I mean, equivalently, you're about at a 6K in the back now anyways, but.
Well, do we want to do a 35 to 10 real quick and see what we got?
Yeah, go for it. Dude, your brakes work way better than mine.
That was pretty decent.
Yeah.
That wasn't full lock either.
No?
No, I didn't want to chirp them, obviously. No ABS. So
Yeah. No ABS. This thing just threw me through. Dude, that worked great.
One more time. Alright, here's about 35. Okay, there it was.
Oh, yeah.
There was a little bit.
She definitely does still nose pretty hard. But we got the room for it now, so we're good.
That was like 90% brake right there. The first one was 75, and then I hit 90 on the second one, and yeah.
Yeah. You can smell tire from that squeal.
Just flat spot.
Dude, that would suck.
No, I mean, that's what I just did. I just flat spotted.
Yeah, for a second though, but it's not like
a
noticeable bad flat spot.
The tire, but
oh, that's pretty cool. You guys got like a baseball thing?
Yeah, they got snow cones too.
Yeah. Oh, what the? That's baller! And trains. So after our drive and our little talk right there that you guys just saw, overall, from what we came to the conclusion on, is that overall it is a much more better setup. He's just kind of used to driving that old school style. So he's gonna push this a lot harder, grow used to it, feel where the breaking point of it is and whatnot, and then get used to driving a car that is made to drive harder. It's driving hard to a certain extent. Eventually you get to a point where it doesn't, and it will want to try to cut loose, but it'll be fine. It's gonna have the drive out of it. It's fine. But the real test will be taking this thing to a track day. So I can't wait to know whenever he goes out to do that. I want to know the improvements of everything that went down here. And also getting this thing onto an alignment rack to see what the true alignment actually is. I just took basic measurements and then used what I thought would get close to my ideal setup for this car, which for what we were achieving with knowing how the KPI in this car is and knowing how the Ackerman setup for this car, all of that, knowing how the front suspension geometry is, guessing on where we want our caster and all that, which we're going to try to shoot for about a 7.5, 7 to a 7.5, somewhere in that range. We're going to try to keep our toe true, or maybe, if anything, maybe a smidge toe out, just because it still is a daily driver. It's not a daily, but like that way it could be go out and street drive if he wanted to take it, like let's say across America, he could do so. But it works good. So far, everything worked really good for the car. The rear sway bar change was good. So yeah, if you guys are interested into getting your car set up by me, DM me. We got our email available. Check out on our Instagram, go to A&R Customs, and then DM us and or hit our business email. We'll hit you back with availability slots, scheduling, and our rates for what all we will do. which if you need to build your chassis, set it up, whatever you need, you let us know. We're open to traveling around. So this is gonna be a future thing too, is gonna be trying to build a bus with a bunch of tools to where we can go run our shop out to different states and stuff to help everybody out. So, or if you guys see me at a race event and you want me to come by and help your setup on your car, just let me know. Either way, I'll see you guys in the next video, and deuces.
What's up, guys? I'm Austin. I am Romeo's business partner in crime at A&R Customs, and I've been the one helping him edit his videos here on YouTube. Just wanted to show face a little bit and say what's up. We will be out at Concord Mustang Week here in North Carolina. What is that, the 20th or 24th to the 29th, I believe. So we will be out here. Just want to let y'all know if y'all wanted to say what's up, come talk, chat, maybe set up some dates or anything, we'll be available. So thank you, guys.